Happy Bob Dylan's birthday, Dan Blakeslee.
Happy birthday, Bob Dylan! All right, hold on. I gotta turn this down.
Okay.
Sorry, I've been jamming to Bob all night. I know it's morning time right now, but I started last night. Okay. Oh man,
Hello.
it's my Bob Dylan T-shirt I got in New York City for $20.
I love a theme, man.
Nice. Is it too weird with the fisheye on here?
Nah, it looks great.
Okay, cool.
I think you're
How
the first
you
person to do fisheye.
doing? Been trying to have fun with these like visual these internet shows and everything.
Yeah. Why don't you start us off by telling us who you are, where you are, and what you do?
Yeah, my name is Dan Blakeslee. I'm an artist and musician living in Providence, Rhode Island.
Wonderful. And tell us your favorite Bob Dylan song. Can you pick just one?
Nope. But I mean,
Do you have
there's so many. There's
do you have
so...
a favorite Dylan album?
But I gotta say, if I could pick one, I can't do that. I can't do that. But She Belongs to Me is very much at the top. Yes.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, so how are you passing the time right now?
Well, it's actually kind of weird. I've been more busy during quarantine than before the quarantine, only because I don't know, I keep getting inspired by seeing other friends online doing these incredibly beautiful things, and it's like every day I just keep creating and creating, and songs keep coming to me. I'm not sitting down at like songwriter time. It's just like they've just been coming to me like in the middle of the night, and it's like just gotta while the fire's raging, gotta take advantage of it, so I've been doing a lot of that, obviously a lot of indoor activity, and it's just me and the cat, so not much to talk about, but I've been going out and taking walks in nature like a couple hours a day, which has been really helpful for me, because especially the first couple weeks of the quarantine, I'm a very optimistic person, and I've always been that way, but I had such crippling anxiety from just thinking about how friends are getting through, how my
Mm-hmm.
family's getting through, how I'm gonna get through, how the world is gonna survive this, and what I realized is that getting out in nature really helps me realize things are going to be okay. And also playing music, that brought my anxiety to like nothing. It was like so helpful. So if you don't play an instrument, you should, no matter what it is. Pick up a hair comb. I don't know, like whistle through a walnut shell or whatever. Anyway, make some music. It helps.
I think that's really good advice. Are you
Yeah.
working on visual art as well during this time?
Oh yeah, tons. Yep, paintings and drawings and scratch board, some silk screening. So there hasn't been a dull moment. I actually took my first day off since my last gig was up in the White Mountains in New Hampshire on March 14th, and I hadn't taken a day off since then. But I took a day off this week, so it felt really good to just like wander and and just, I don't know, watch movies, still play music and make art, just because that's what I do when I
Right.
take a day off. That's my favorite thing to do. So why not why not continue to do it on your day off?
Yeah. You mentioned being inspired by other people while you're staying in one spot. Are you listening to other people's music? Are you getting to watch any live streams? How are you taking in what other people are doing?
Yeah. I mean, basically, like all of it, obviously through live streams. But it's like, it's what I realized is that I want to stop playing on Fridays and Saturdays so I can watch my friends play.
Mhm.
I'd rather do my shows on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday or a Thursday, and this way it's like I have the weekend free to go and see my friends play, you know? So, but there's like, it's incredible. Like a lot of my friends have also been writing new songs that they've come up with during quarantine, and it's just been incredible to watch everything bloom. You know, out of this like horrible situation, there's things blooming everywhere.
Yeah, that's a good silver lining to everybody being stuck in one place. And I don't suppose if these circumstances didn't exist that you'd be able to watch your friends play on weekends because you'd probably have
Right.
gigs
Yeah,
yourself.
I'm usually playing gigs. Although I did like I realized like how many shows I do solo. Like I'll do like the 2 hour thing or the 3 hour thing or um and I realized like this past year that like 2 years ago I'm like, man, I want to play more, even more shows with my friends
Mhm.
because that's the most inspiring thing for me is to watch them play, and I feel like I perform better seeing them and being with them and sharing this experience with them, you know.
Mhm.
Gives us something to talk about when we're old and gray.
Yeah, yeah. Tell us a little bit about your band.
So I have four band members. Uh, my pal Nick Fineff on the bass, Jim Rudolph on the drums, and Mike Effenberger on piano and accordion, and me on guitar and vocals. And we started. It's kind of a strange thing. Like uh, I was in between bands, and I was doing solo for a long time. And this kid walks up to me in a kilt, with long hair, and he's like, "Hey man, if you ever need a bass player, let me know." I'm like, "All right, cool. I like this guy. This is great." And it's kind of funny because he was in this band that I was following a lot. I'm like, God, I wish I had this band. I wish this was my band. And it was like they were all playing together, and then all of a sudden I had that band. So it's like I'm so I love those guys to pieces. They're like my brothers, and I miss the heck out of those dudes. And hopefully we'll at least get like a backyard or a barn like jam. You know, everyone's in a separate corner,
Mhm.
like, but just to have that, because that's one thing that I really, I mean, obviously I miss being around people. I'm around people a lot, doing music, and but the other day I went for a hike with friends of mine. We separated far apart, wearing masks and everything, and it was the most beautiful experience. Just being in their company, you know, 8 feet away from each other, just like it was incredible.
Yeah, I'll
So,
never take that for granted again. That's for
nope,
sure.
never. I think this is what I think is going to happen after the quarantine's been lifted. Is that people? There's going to be a lot less racism. There's going to be, I feel like more people are going to get along with each other. I feel like humanity is going to be human again, you
You
know?
are optimistic. I hope that's the case. I hope that you're
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if this wasn't happening, what would you have been doing like middle of May right about now?
Wow. Releasing an album, wrapping up an album, uh, but I'm sort of like, and finishing up a whole bunch of art that I had been so backed up on. But I mean, luckily, this, you know, I was able to be at home for the last couple months to actually finish the art projects because I I was like so behind, and I felt guilty to that I owed so many people so much artwork, and then I was able to stay home for a couple months and finish it. So now I'm getting caught up. So
Hmm.
so when I go back out there on the road, I'll have a clear mind again, which will be good.
Good. For
Yep.
anybody who's not familiar with Dan's artwork, you've probably seen it
That's not
before.
my artwork in the background.
You probably have seen it before, though. You did some package design and a mural at the Alchemist, right? Brewing company.
Yeah. For Heady Topper and
Yeah.
Focal Banger,
Mm-hmm.
the beer labels,
Yeah.
and did a few pieces of art for Newport Folk Festival.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Very much photographed mural up there last year. Speaking of Newport, Eric Suramoto, the photographer, is asking in the chat here if that's the Wilco cat painting in the background.
Oh, you know what? I actually don't know. But I know that this is kind of crazy. This cat painting, it's about 5 feet by 4 feet. It's
Wow.
absolutely gigantic. And got it at Goodwill for $24.99.
Good
And then
steal.
I was in an antique store like a couple days later, and I heard this gal talking on the phone. She goes, "Hey, I'm trying to find one of those big white cat paintings, blah 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 blah." And I walked up to her and I was like, "What do you mean? Is it like 5 feet by 4 feet by a guy named Letterman?" And she's like, "Oh my God, that's the one. Do you have one for sale?" I'm like, "No." She goes, "I'm trying to buy one online for like $500." I'm like, "I got mine for $24.99 at Goodwill."
Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a good stumble upon for sure.
it is.
Uh, it looks majestic behind you.
Oh, cool,
Yeah, it's a really
cool.
good backdrop for this. Dan, can you tell us about a little bit about Dr. Gasp?
Oh man. Of course I can. So I have this Halloween side project that I have been doing for it's the 18th year, and it kind of happened as a fluke. I've always loved Monster Mash. I've always loved like that kind of music, and when Halloween came around about 18 years ago, I was playing a show at the Press Room in New Hampshire, and I wanted to write my own Halloween song. I had been part of a friend of mine's haunted house, and I was a ghost cowboy, and I was sitting playing like a disjointed like angular guitar chords for like 4 hours, and so I started writing a song in my head, and I performed it that night, and I immediately apologized to the audience. I was like, "That was awful. I will never do that again." Whatever, and like friends of mine, this friend of mine shouted from the back of the room, said, "I want to put that on vinyl next year." So it came out on vinyl the next year, and I've been doing it ever since. And thank God I didn't throw it away, because it gets that weirdo art punk energy out of me, because I roll around on the ground, in costume, like candy corns flying everywhere, and I'm playing all these Halloween songs, just having a blast.
Man, I love a theme, and I especially love when that theme is Halloween. So I'm so glad
Yeah.
that you do that. I see Owen from Driftwood Soldier says,
Oh,
and I think Owen's talking about the cat painting. He says Savers sells it for $21, big cat painting. So they're out there to be found. If anyone, after seeing Dan's cat painting, has cat painting envy, it sounds like if you dig a little, you can find
yeah.
one.
So apparently this Owen, I love you.
I
By
do
the
too.
way, this the cat painting is once I got it home, I just kind of Googled it. I was like, "Oh, what's up with this cat painting?" By Letterman. And it turns out the artist, like in the 70s, made a bunch, like tons of canvas printouts of this and hand painted on each one.
Oh,
And
wow.
so there's so many different versions of this cat painting out there. And
So a
so, I
print
mean,
that's
it's
still one of
technically
a kind.
real paint on the canvas, but yeah. Hello,
That's really cool.
Julie.
Hi, Julie Rhodes. Um, I'd also like to ask you, I happen to know that you are a cookie enthusiast, and I'd like to know if you have baked any cookies while you've been at home.
Every 3 days. Every
What kind
three
have you been
days.
baking?
I actually, well, I mean, so basically, my cookie consumption is about at least 5 or 6 a day. You
Oh,
know,
wow.
whatever. I don't drink, smoke, or do drugs. Screw it, right?
Hmm.
But what I do is I make a batch at the beginning of the week, and then I only make like maybe like 15 at a time, and then I put the rest in the freezer, the dough, and then I take it out. Like so through the week, and each week I make a different kind. Usually though, I'm a ginger molasses guy. Like I
Okay.
used to go to this bakery in Somerville, and if they're out of ginger molasses cookies, I'd be like, they're like, you want anything else? I'm like, nope. And so they started calling me molasses, which I thought was pretty funny.
That's wonderful.
Yep.
And I want to say an extra thanks to Owen because he's actually the one that facilitated us talking. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that you and I were able to connect thanks to Owen.
Yeah, me too. It's always a pleasure in your company.
Yeah, yours too. And before I ask you our final wrap up question, I
Yeah.
want to ask you, what are you most looking forward to when the quarantine is lifted and we can move about freely and safely? What is the thing you can't wait to do?
Hugs.
Me too.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
I've been saving them
I
all
was
up.
actually it's kind of funny, like I was gonna buy a blow up doll and film me dancing around with it to Stairway to Heaven because I thought it'd be funny. But then I was thinking of every once in a while I play kids shows and I have a lot of friends that have kids, and then I thought second, I thought about it a little more. But I
Maybe
thought
if
that
we
would be
give her
kind of
some
funny.
clothes, it
But
wouldn't be
it's
so bad.
not the same. Not the same as a real person.
That's true. That's true. Okay, so to wrap things up, Dan, tell us where we can go to find out more information about you, your music, your art, the things you care about. How do we best follow and support you?
Yeah, for my artwork, you can find my artwork at Etsy, and I'm gonna post the links in the comments and everything. You can find my artwork on Etsy. You can find my music, my vast catalog of music on Bandcamp. You can't find the vast catalog on Spotify as of
Mhm.
yet, but Bandcamp is the source for that, and I have a lot of like physical merch there and everything. Um, and then my website, danblakeslee.com, and yeah, of course, Facebook, Instagram, MySpace.
Oh,
Just
shit.
kidding. Whoa. Whoa.
Sorry, throwback.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
great.
Yep.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time. Anybody who's watching, I'm doing these on the hour today. Next up at 1 o'clock Eastern is Chuck and Mira from the Sea. Then at 2 o'clock is Josh Edley. And then at 3
Yeah.
o'clock is Alan Thompson. So it should be continue to be a really fun day. And Dan, thank you so much. I hope that we get to see each other in person. Save one of those hugs for me.
We'll get one of those big pizzas.
Yes, from
You know what I'm
where is
talking
it from?
about, New York?
Yeah, from Anza's, the
Heck
huge
yeah.
the pizzas that Pete always gets for us at the end of the night.
Yep.
That signs the wagon. Yeah. Sweet.
Awesome. Well, be
Thanks
safe
again.
and healthy, all right? And thank
You
you
too,
everyone
Dan.
for tuning in, and be safe.
You too. Take care, Dan.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.